A student vanished from her own home in the dead of night, no struggle, no warning, no trace. Police rushed in, hoping to find answers. But the deeper they searched, the darker the truth became. Piece by piece, investigators uncovered a story so tragic and senseless, it shocked the entire nation. Eve Carson was born on November 19, 1985, in Athens, Georgia, and from the very beginning, she was different. Focused. Driven. Remarkably gifted. In high school, she seemed unstoppable, vice president of the student council, volunteer at a nursing home and a shelter for abused teens, a congressional page, and even a research assistant in a stem cell laboratory. All of this, before she even graduated. Eve went on to attend the University of North Carolina, double majoring in political science and biology. Her academic excellence earned her a prestigious scholarship, and she quickly became a respected and admired leader on campus. Still, she kept giving back, teaching science to elementary school students, volunteering internationally, and traveling to Ecuador, Cuba, and Egypt for medical and research work. Eve wasn't just outstanding. She was exceptional. A young woman with a future so bright it seemed untouchable. By early 2008, Eve was 22, in her final year of college, and already had a job lined up after graduation. She lived off campus with close friends. On the night of March 5, around 1:30 a.m., her roommates invited her to a party. Eve stayed home, choosing to study instead. When her friends returned at 4:30 in the morning, something was immediately wrong. The front door was wide open. Lights were still on. And Eve, along with her car, was gone. It made no sense. She wasn't the type to leave suddenly, especially not in the middle of the night. They called her phone. No answer. They waited, hoping she'd walk through the door. She never did. By the next day, her friends reported her missing. And that's when detectives revealed something terrifying. Earlier that morning, police had found the body of a young woman, identity unknown. They showed Eve's friend the photo. One look was enough. It was Eve. Around 5 a.m., just minutes after she vanished, a woman living a mile away heard gunshots followed by a scream. When officers arrived, they found Eve lying on the ground, no ID, no phone, nothing. Only one thing was clear: she had been shot multiple times. Detectives worked backward. At 1:30 a.m., Eve was home studying. At 3:30 a.m., her computer was still active. But by 5 a.m., she was dead a mile away. Her car was missing. Her wallet and credit cards were missing too. This wasn't random. This was robbery, and something far worse. Her phone pinged once from a tower near a highway, then went dark forever, likely thrown into the woods. Then came the breakthrough. Police found Eve's abandoned car just a few miles away and sent it for forensic analysis. Meanwhile, her bank records revealed that only 18 minutes after she last used her computer, someone withdrew $700 from her account at an ATM across town. Security footage revealed a man in Eve's car, using her card. Another person appeared to be in the back seat, possibly Eve herself, but the footage was too blurry to confirm. Over the next 2 days, the card was used at multiple ATMs, many without cameras. Then, on March 7, a breakthrough: a convenience store ATM captured a new suspect trying to use Eve's card. This time, it wasn't the same man from the earlier footage. It became clear more than one person was involved. Police released both images to the media. Tips flooded in, but none led anywhere until March 12. An anonymous caller recognized the second suspect. 21-year-old Diario Atwater. Detectives dug into his background. What they found was alarming. At 21, he already had a long criminal record: robberies, assaults, drug charges, and had repeatedly been released early from jail. He was even scheduled to appear in court 2 days after Eve's murder for carrying a handgun while on probation. A match with surveillance images confirmed it. They had their man. During questioning, Diario denied everything, but detectives still took him into custody. Then came another discovery: Diario had been communicating with a 17-year-old, Lawrence Lavette, who also had a criminal history. His mugshot matched the man seen driving Eve's car in the earlier ATM footage. Lawrence resisted arrest, barricading himself inside his home, forcing SWAT to intervene. Once caught, he also denied involvement. Both were charged and held. Investigators dug deeper. Cell tower data placed both suspects in Eve's neighborhood that night even though they lived in a different city. Detectives theorized the truth. Eve wasn't targeted. She was simply chosen at random, a bright light pulled into the darkness by two people looking for money. They likely broke in, forced her into her own car, and drove her to multiple ATMs. After reaching the maximum withdrawal limit, they took her to a wooded area and executed her. Prosecutors sought the death penalty for Diario. But Lawrence, being a minor, could only face life imprisonment. To secure a conviction, prosecutors made a strategic offer: if Diario confessed, they would remove the death penalty. He accepted. His confession revealed the horrifying truth. He and Lawrence went out that night to rob someone. They saw Eve through her window. They broke in with guns drawn. They forced her into her car. They made her withdraw money. And through it all, Eve begged for her life. She promised not to tell. She just wanted to go home. But they had no mercy. They drove her to a deserted street and shot her multiple times. And then came the detail that broke the nation's heart. Right before they killed her, Eve asked them to pray with her. And they shot her anyway. In April 2010, Diario was sentenced to life plus 30 years. In court, he apologized to Eve's parents, admitting he deserved the punishment. Lawrence refused to plead guilty. He went to trial in December 2011 and was sentenced to life in prison. Though his sentence was briefly overturned due to a ruling against life without parole for juveniles, he was retried, still showing little remorse, and again sentenced to life. He was also suspected in another murder months before Eve's, though charges were dropped due to lack of evidence. Eve's death sparked widespread outrage and change. North Carolina passed a new law imposing harsher penalties for gang-related crimes, directly inspired by what happened to her. At her university, a scholarship was created in her name, and a memorial garden now honors her life. In 2009, a close friend of hers became a finalist on American Idol. On stage, he said Eve's death gave him the courage to pursue his dream, courage he believed she would have wanted for everyone. If you found this case compelling, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We post true crime stories daily. Until next time, stay sharp, stay vigilant. And also do well to watch the next video. This story is more shocking than the one you just finished.